A very, very good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to all our GWN members and the guests here. After a long, long time, GLC is back with a bang, and thanks to the GWN team who works back end to make sure that all of us get the required support system that we're looking for. And in testing times, we've been the GWN has been a backbone for each one of us. And as a family, a family and a family member, I would like to thank each one of you for the amazing support and the kind of appreciation you've been giving to the GLC members to work harder and help us grow bigger, better, and stronger every time. We'll start today's session by introducing our guest speaker. The reason why we chose this particular topic is because all of us have been through stress, and this is the time now not to think about it, but to overcome it, to win over it, and go further, move on further. We have with us Sarika, who is a professional counselor and a coach. She's also a landmark graduate. She specializes as a consciousness practitioner, and she is also a healer and a tarot reader. She uses an integrated approach in bringing in a shift in people's awareness for a better life. She also helps her clients with counseling, life coach, and healing. She believes in the power of self-creation and co-creation with her community members. Today, in the space of business, where we are facing so much of competition, where there is so much of ambiguity in what may happen and what is in store for us, we have with us Sarika, who's going to guide us through this journey. Before I start the session and taking too much of time by self-talking, I'd like to ask Sarika to unmute and say hello to all of us. Hi, Sarika.
Hi, Anita, and hi, everyone out here. Thank you for inviting me over here. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to Varun, who introduced me to Global Wedding Network, and a big warm thank you to Anita and Falani for organizing this session. That's amazing. And yeah, so today I'm here to have this session on no's and rejections. So we got to get started, Anita. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Sarika. And we are so glad that you've taken time for this. And of course, the briefing sessions that I've had with you, I'm waiting to hear so much more about it. But before we get into this, no, rejections, these are negative words, okay? And these two words immediately are making me feel like, yaar, ab kya? Okay, and before that, you might be dealing with so many more clients. You might be hearing these words. You must be having, what made you enter this kind of a field?
Sure. That's a very interesting question, Anita. Yes, see, I always loved connecting with people and their world. And whenever I would do this, I would see there is so much, in other people's world. There's so much there that we can, there is so much that we can receive and contribute to each other. And this was one reason that got me into this profession. So, because with every client that I have interacted so far, surely there has been empowering there, but believe me, every client has been such a gift to me. The client in return has empowered me also in many ways. So it's an ongoing process, and it's an exchange of so many things. And it's a beautiful, space when two people, connect with each other, they co-create something. So this is how I'm here. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think the best gift that we can give to somebody is being their helping hand, or just, years, just being there to listen to them. I'm so glad that we have people like you around us. Just a brief about Global Wedding Network. It is a forum where we have all the members from the event industry, the wedding industry. We have wedding planners, we have all our photographers, our videographers, our caterers. We have people who could be a part of an event in any big or small way. Okay, so we have our travels and tourisms, we have venue management, we have a whole lot of people who are listening to us today. So in their benefit, I would like to ask you about a few questions, like, when it comes to so much of a competition, when it comes to a consortium where, we are working so hard, we do not know what is the next step for us. I would like you to start speaking. I will go on mute now, and I will mention only when it is required. The entire session is yours. Over to you, Sarika.
Right. Thank you, Anita. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Before I go further, I would like all of you to just, wherever you're sitting or you're lying down, I would like you all to imagine a circle around you. Just imagine wherever you are, a circle around you, and for the next half an hour, 40 minutes that we are in this session, you got to be present there, and you are going to be functioning, thinking from that space. Don't let your mind ponder outside the space. Okay? So you'll come to know about as we proceed into the session. Now, coming back to no's and rejections, definitely none of us like to hear no's, even when we were children, and be it now, right? So, and considering, as Anita shared, considering the current scenario where there's so much of competition, so much action happening in the market, yes, there are a lot of, no's or rejections people have to face, face from their clients or customers. And this can be very demotivating and disheartening. I completely get that. Now, in this class, I will be sharing some keys. I'll be sharing you some keys to unlock a new reality for yourself. So this is about that. And with this, I'd like to say, hello. With this, I'd like to say,
with devices. Yeah, please speak. It's clear. It's clear now. Please continue.
Yeah. So in this class, I'll be sharing you some keys to unlock a new reality for yourself. Okay. So this class is not about, I like to just bring this to the notice before we get into the session further. This class is definitely not about, empowering you or, bringing you solutions. Now you all must be wondering, कि ये तो session शुरू होने से पहले ही खत्म हो गया है, that the session just got over before it started. Well, I'd like to add something here, because I believe you all are 100% empowered, 100% committed, and 100% motivated. You know your job well, and you know what actions to take. You have come this far. It's just not like that. So you all got to acknowledge and applaud this about yourself today. Okay. So, on the other hand, in spite of being 100% committed, yet there may be something that does not allow you or block you to receive from an opportunity, or give your 100% to that opportunity. And this can definitely lead to rejections or no sometimes. So let's talk about what happens when you face a rejection. Studies and tests have revealed that when there is a rejection caused, the same kind of chemical reaction happens in the brain as in experiencing a physical injury. So the same kind of chemical reaction you sense when you are facing a rejection, it is the same when you have experienced a physical injury. This is surely not a good space to be in, and this can be both conscious and unconscious. So, well, when it is, so as I was sharing about the studies reveal, yeah. Now, what happens is, as I said, this is surely not a good space to be in. Okay, so this can be very demotivating, demoralizing, disheartening, and everything. And you got to be, as you get present to this, you also see that there could be some discomfort also with this, a pain in the chest, or tightness in the in the back, or anything like that, and feeling you may get a feeling of not good enough or something like that. And this discomfort or this emotional or mental or emotional discomfort can be both conscious or unconscious. So in when it is a conscious one, you're aware as to what's happening to you, but when it's an unconscious one, then you may not be present to what's really happening, but you can be an effect to that. Effect to that means there may be symptoms like something is forgetful. You may get forgetful there, or you may lose your temper very frequently. So you will get symptoms like this when at an unconscious level. When at an unconscious level, something you go through this mental this distress or emotional unrest when you face a rejection.
Here, Sarika, I would like to ask you one question. So, when you talk about going through some kind of a stress which shows some kind of a physical discomfort as well, we feel some pain. This pain could be in part of your body, or it could be different levels. If it is not sort of physical pain, I may show anger, temperament issues, or I may feel very low, and I'm not feeling energetic. When we talk about pain, this pain, is it for real or is it a psychological pain that we're going through that moment?
See, the pain is real, definitely. Pain is real.
This is something, the reason why I asked this question is because people do not believe that the pain is for real. They'll say, yaar, tere dimag hi kharab ho rakha hai. Ye tera dimag mein hai.
See, what your body is sensing is real. That can't be unreal. But with the pain, the mind's job is to interpret, to create stories. So maybe whatever that the mind is interpreting everything may not be real, but the pain is real. And that emotion caused with that pain is also real. So that has to be taken into account. Yes.
So, Sarika,
yeah, please.
This topic has always been very, very close to my heart, probably because of a lot of people whom I closely work with. And probably because of being in this kind of an industry space where we deal with too many people of this kind, having gone through a lot of family stress myself, I understand what you're saying. Now, in case we identify our fellow members, from the same fraternity, how do you observe? Not everybody will speak it out openly or ask for a counselor's help. Especially in India, it is still something which is not you yourself have your boundaries set in your mind that no, I will not go to a counselor. A big deal. I'll work on it. Okay. Now, suppose I have to identify what are the traits that I can identify in a member or a fellow friend, where I think that this person is actually going through some sort of a stress and needs our help and support.
See, there is no such, if you ask me if there is any particular way you can find it out, no, that's not there. But if it is your friend, as you know, there is a background of relatedness with that person, right? So with that, you will surely be able to connect. Something is not in alignment with that person. There will be some symptoms you will come across. Either the person may be over talking or maybe talking less or may become silent completely. You will sense something is not in alignment or in balance.
Behavioral issues, behavioral differences.
Yeah. So there is a behavior that the person may not choose to verbally communicate about. That means, and it could even be Archana, Anita, that the person, him or herself, is also not aware that he is going through some, some condition or some kind of an emotional unrest or, maybe it could even be an outburst. And sometimes when it is an unconscious one, that makes it more complicated.
So, Sarika, in such situations, since I would like to limit, bring back the discussion to our fraternity. So, generally what happens is testing times, huge competition, clients' requirements, meeting their requirements with their budgets, lots of challenges that, each one of us in our particular field may go through. Despite doing all the hard work, trying to understand the brief that was given, coming up with the best estimates or the designs or whatever our field demands us to do. How do you think that, what would help us in handling or anticipating no as an answer?
Anticipating no as an answer. Okay, now see, anticipation is when there are series of no's you've been receiving, you start believing that it's going to be a no now coming forward also, right? If I've had I've sent quotations to 4 clients, and out of 3, they, 3 of them say no, they don't approve of it. Before the 4th one applies, answers back or comes back to me, I'll be like, ye bhi pakka, I consider it to be a no. So this is anticipation. Now here, the brain, what is happening is the brain absorbs the rejection and continues to communicate the same to you in a negative output. But you know what? The interesting part is, Anita, that the mind has this, amazing power and capacity to anticipate a no, just the way it has the power and capacity to anticipate a no, or a rejection. It also has the power to anticipate a success or victory. That's how powerful it is. And yes, we got to train our mind and practice that, just the way we build up our muscle in the gym. So we got to do this exercise with the mind also. Yeah, that was a very.
That's well said. It is just, that you need to play with your mind before the mind starts playing with you.
Yeah.
Condition your mind to look for more positivity.
Yeah, and there are two other, main monsters that can rule our anticipation to know. That is regret and this regret and fear, because my only message to everyone is that don't anticipate from regret and fear, as they are not in your present situation. They are all coming from the past. So it's and another thing I'd like to share here, with anticipation of no, there's a very common thing that happens, which is overwhelmingness, where there's a churning sensation that there's something happening. You feel stirred up, and you feel like as if there's some 100 horses running around you, inside, within and outside. There is there's immense unrest. So this, I'd like to bring bring everybody's presence to this, that this is actually happening because there is a process of 4 things happening together in you at that point of time. For example, if I have just faced a series of rejection or a rejection recently, then there will be a thought generated at that time, that why me? Supposedly it's why me, and what the hell, whatever. Then there'll be emotion also generated at the same time. I may feel impatient, or I may feel angry, annoyed, sad, whatever. And with that, there will be a physical sensation, again, something in the body. And with that, there will be a behavioral change also, which could be, I may want to cry loudly, I want to disconnect, or I may be shouting. So because these 4 things are happening together, it is impacting me. So if this happens, I mean, it is, and you bring your, you just get present to this, that, what is those 4 things happening right now in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your physical sensation, and in your behavioral change. The moment you will start sensing yourself getting into calming down and aligning. So this is very helpful, because emotions and thoughts are all about, it has to flow out. You can't suppress. जब हम suppress करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो it just that is again all the more anxiety and overwhelmingness shoots up all the more.
I think that's very well worded from you, Sarika, that taking care of these 4 points becomes very, very important before they become our pain points. One thing that I always felt is, as much as I understand all our members and people who are into business, they have one very, very clear intention. Okay, even if not being the best or number 1 in their particular field, they would want to be in the top 5 or top 10. That is their intention. That's their aspiration. Okay, then comes in between the hurdles, which stops us from moving towards our goal. So you have intentions, you have aspirations, then you have your hurdles. Now, can these hurdles be made my stepping stone to success? How do I use this as my, I don't know, you're the word queen at the moment, the queen of words at the moment. So tell me one thing. How do I make sure that my hurdles don't become my obstacles, but they become my stepping stone to success?
Definitely, Anita. I would like to share here something, an example. We all do go to ice cream parlors sometimes, right? And when you go to an ice cream parlor, there are so many amazing flavors of ice cream right in front of you. Now, what's happening? Surely you choose one. Now, if I ask you, why do you choose? There is no answer, because I choose, right? Now, there are the other ones that you've not chosen. So it's kind of you've rejected those. So I like to ask you, do you think those other flavors feel rejected? Or maybe, they would be like, oh, we have not been chosen. Oh, I'm going through something, some emotional stress now. Or, you see them sulking. Surely it doesn't happen. Because
human beings have feelings. I don't know what an ice cream.
Exactly. So do you get everybody, because human beings have feelings and emotions, and feelings and emotions, where is it coming from? It comes from a past because there are some past experiences, past opinions, episodes with rejections. It could be many more things, and it could be something even again unconsciously there. So one thing we have to get present to, that whatever that is happening, it appears that it is coming from this situation, but those thoughts and the feelings, they communicate more. So you got to be present. And it also there's something else I'd like to say here, that there is something in the past also we are not at peace with or complete with. So maybe we are kind of looking for the answers in the wrong place. We got to be in touch with something we are not in touch with. Maybe there is something of the past, a pattern probably, which is kind of interfering with our functioning over here. So the ice cream example was this was one reason, and I shared here. So yeah.
But yeah, you rightly, I mean, it's a very cute example that you've given, that, it's whenever we make a choice, we unconsciously are making a choice of not choosing something else. So even when it comes with the designs, when I select a design, or when I'm showing 2 or 3 designs to my client, I'm consciously not showing the other designs. It's just that, it's a matter of choice at that particular moment.
See, it's and this is very simple, because as you get in touch, because awareness, once you are aware, then the next thing is, you take action to either move on or to deal with that situation in a way that you've not dealt before. And when dealing with a rejection, surely there is a lot of mental unrest there. And so one more thing I'd like to bring here is, when we are disturbed or because of a rejection or something, there is anxiety usually people go through. Okay, now anxiety is also a behavioral change. Okay, there could be a lot sitting under the umbrella of anxiety. So in that situation, people usually, what they do, they start either diverting their mind to something, or they may start fixing that problem, whatever it is. So here my message to everyone is that at that point of time, no action is the action you have to take. Don't do anything, because at that point of time, you just got to be present to what's happening to you. Take a rest and pause. As you do it, you will see yourself getting back into balance and into alignment. And that's about it. So it's just about taking that, which people don't.
So by what you said, do you think, am I right in saying that, there's always a hope, even when, somewhere my mind tells me that there's no hope at all, or there's no way out at all?
Yes, there's always a way out at all. There's always a way out there, and there is always a choice out there also. There is always a choice to think. There's always.
And when you talk about a past, it's something like, there was a crack sometime back in between. But, it may have broken me at that moment, but it didn't break me completely, so that I fell apart, never to get up again. So I think, we should let go of those kind of things that has happened in our past, because that is where my mind blocks start. And that becomes my hurdle. It's not the hurdles otherwise in the business. Business hurdles are always there, right?
Yeah, that's true. But see, there's also something to it, that maybe you've not allowed yourself enough to, to acknowledge that completely, because you have gone through something painful. And it hurts you. That is reality. That is not unreal. And we got to acknowledge that. Right? Because whatever it is that has to flow out, feelings and emotions, and emotions just can't be suppressed, be it a happy emotion or a heavy emotion.
Right? But don't you think at times, suddenly, over the past few years, suddenly people have started talking about stress, people have started talking about counseling, and to a few people, it is just becoming a style statement, if I may say. People look at it, it's cool to have a counselor. So do you think we're breaking the norm there and accepting that, yes, there could be challenges? And do you think it's the right way to go forward?
See, one way if I look at it, that's my way of looking at it. I can't comment for everybody, but definitely I would say that people are just coming out of that, that belief that counselor ke paas nahi jana, no going to a therapist, because if I go to a therapist or a counselor, then people might start thinking there's something wrong with me. So that people are starting to break that norm. And I'm really happy that people are choosing to go to a counselor or a therapist just the way, they choose to go to a doctor if there's a physical issue. So in a way, it is good. And I don't know how, I mean, again, to each its own. Everybody like has a different, opinion on that. So this is my opinion. But
Yeah,
surely I would
I'm with
suggest,
you on this. If you're broken, you don't need to stay that way, right? If you can't fix it, take help and fix things.
yeah.
Take support. Whether
And
that support system is a friend or a colleague or a family member or a counselor, take support.
absolutely, Anita, I completely get that, because it's not necessary that one has to reach out to a counselor only or to a therapist. You can reach out to your family members or to a friend, because it's, at the end of the day, it is like some kind of healing. And when you are in pain, the suffering sometimes may be so much immense that you don't have the energy to heal yourself. So when you go to someone is offering you and healing you at that time. It can even be a friend, not necessary that. So there are a couple of more things I would like to share. When one deals with the rejection, um, these are very they are actually very small pointers I have put up. So one is like, usually people go into why me, when there's a rejection or disapproval of something from the other end, like why me. But why me doesn't have an answer, because it's again like, why is the sun so warm and why is the sky so high? So finding answers to why is just draining yourself, right? And another thing is, you can't in this process, people are trying to make everyone happy, and this is a very common thing with females, especially in our country. I mean, sorry, not that I'm trying to sideline anybody here, but yeah, it is that you cannot make everyone happy, and you can't be everywhere at the same time. So we are not superheroes, and outstretching ourselves will only exhaust us. And we do this when we go through a rejection. All these things are very, very prevalent at that time. And we cannot change any situation. We can't change a no to a yes. But you can we can surely stop being an effect to that. That is our power of dealing with it. And so this is, when you use some of these tools, you can redirect a lot of things. You can change your way of viewing things, and it also, you can switch to another perspective. So this is about, as you shared, as you asked me on the hurdles. And another thing that I'll now like to share, this is very interesting. This is about, how we can redirect our mind when we are dealing with a rejection. Because it's in sometimes in a very, very creative way, you can really switch your mindset
Mhm.
and uplift. So yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
One thing that I'd like to add here, Sarika, is that, uh, why we need why I always feel that, professional help is always nicer is because they help us identify the blind spots which we weren't aware of. Subconsciously, something that happened some time back, maybe at that moment, I didn't feel it, but a repeat of certain words again and again makes you feel, and that becomes a blind spot, or that makes me feel uncomfortable. And that is where a professional can probably help me in that. It helps. I mean, at least I know what I have to work on. If I don't know what I have to work on, I can't do anything about it. Oh yes, when you say that you need to redirect your thoughts, I think that's where professional help really comes into picture. And when you were speaking about healing, I've heard of a lot of healing therapies. Like there are healing therapies through ways of dance. There's other meditational healing therapies, and I'm sure as a healer, you follow some therapies on your own. So would you want to speak a little more on that?
See, reason, first of all, I'd like to say we all have the power to self heal ourselves. Each and every one of us is blessed with that power. Okay. Now, sometimes, why do we go to a healer? Why does one have to go? Because maybe the suffering is so immense, the person really doesn't have the energy to heal himself or herself. So there, a healer can come into picture. Okay. Yeah, I do healings. I also teach tools to self heal, yourself. I do that. And I also do angel healing. I do crystal healing. I do chi ball healing. So these therapies are definitely very helpful. And in psychological therapies, There is color therapy, there is play therapy, then there is there is color, what do you say, there's clay therapy, color therapy, then there is also a story therapy, through which and then there's inner child healing therapy, where you can take the person to the flashback, into the flashback, into that incident, and you can pull out where the person is stuck there. So there are a lot of things, and an integrated approach always helps there.
Wonderful. I mean, yeah, so each one has their own interests. For example, I like what you said, that each one of us have the power to self-heal. Now it again depends on in what condition you are, in the physically, emotionally, mentally. And that is where your power becomes more stronger. And if not, you can always reach out to external help always.
Yeah, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I think most of it emotionally, because emotionally, it's okay. Sometimes, see, nowadays, like every now and then, I think everybody has some little bit physical issues there. But at an emotional and mental level, if your awareness level is, is in a balanced state, you can surely heal yourself even then.
Nice. So when I come back to our topic that we're discussing today, where rejections or negative answers are what plays on our mind, rejection is a very hard emotion. It's very difficult to deal with that, irrespective of whether I've rejected anybody or no. But when it comes to me, it can play on my ego, or it can question my capabilities. Okay. These are self-imposed. Okay. It could be self-imposed. I'm not telling that I'm being defined. So, do you suggest that rejection is a state of mind, or rejection is a definition of you? How do you deal when you start making rejection as a definition of you? I'm like this. मैंने कुछ गलत कर दिया. The problem is in me. That is where the problem comes.
So when you say मैंने कुछ गलत कर दिया, when you say, I'm so sorry. I believe you didn't finish your question, right? I'm so sorry. I just
take it up. Take it up. You got the feeling, so it's okay. Take it up.
Yeah. So when you said मैंने कुछ गलत कर दिया, see, again, as I said, real and unreal. Okay. What is real in that situation is true. Ki I have been rejected by this person, and this person chose something else. Whatever. I'm just giving you an example. It can be anywhere and everywhere, in any other situation too. That's real. मुझे बुरा लगा. I felt bad. I'm hurt. That's real. Now this person doesn't care for me. I don't know whether this will always show up like this. That is all the interpretation of the mind. And as you said, some of it is self-imposed. Usually, most of it is self-created. So we got to just be present in two things: the situation and what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking at that point of time. Beyond that, it is all the stories of the mind and the translations, because mind is a tool. It is in the practice of creating, and it's like a wild horse. It can go anywhere and everywhere, but we can't be charged on that horse all the time, right?
So let's do one thing. Yes, as planners and are part of creative field, let our minds run only towards the creative directions and not haywire in negative thoughts. Okay, so let's get back to our artistic work itself. I think that is where our talent lies, and that is where we define ourselves then.
Absolutely.
And rejection should be something we can learn from, and best make a better version of ourselves, I guess.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and so because see, it is a rejection is just a situation at that time, and whatever is happening with that is something which is already within. Something is churning within, and that is why I am reacting to that situation of being rejected at that point of time. So I got to be present, because if whatever that is churning inside, if I don't deal with this, the same pattern will get created the next time also.
Yeah, so now I know very well, Sarika. Even if I'm going to give 10 clients my estimate, so whatever reason, if it is not done, I mean, if this is not what the client wants, let it be, so be it. Because in business, it's not that, you are going to win every case, every client is going to be your own client. Let's work towards it. If it does not happen, let's work for the next best client.
Yeah, and I have some amazing, answers to this in this next section. As you said, what should be you created with your this next time when you created with your clients, what are you going to keep in mind? So with respect to that, I'll share you a few things. So as I said that it is about we can redirect our mind when dealing with the rejection. So what to do? So surely there's lots we can do. So I'm going to share this, how you can do that. And There are, just by changing certain questions or changing the way you talk to yourself, lots can happen. First of all, with every rejection, we all got to do the 3 R's. Okay, that is renew, reset, and review. Now, what do we have to renew? We have to renew our actions, renew your actions, reset your goals, and review your current situation, what's happening there. Okay, do this in every situation wherever you don't receive a desired result. And another thing is, what I usually do, and whatever I relate with, I have put up those those tools over here. I usually ask, what is right in this situation, what is right even in the what is right even in this wrong situation. So even if there's a rejection, I ask myself, what is right in this situation, in this wrong situation? Because it's a wrong situation, yes. But what is right in this wrong situation? And then, my mind just my energy just switches to something else, to some other perspective. So it is like the mind just shifts to another perspective, in no time. Another thing is, we shared this earlier also about real and unreal. This is very powerful, Anita, because in any situation, we got to be present to what is real here and what is unreal. Unreal is, again, the translations of the mind, stories, translations, interpretations. So that is there. Another thing that can help in redirection of the mind is setting or expressing intentions. Now, we all know what are intentions, but what if you can, you could express your intention before every before every action you take. For example, I'm just giving you, like, even if I'm going to the gym. Okay, this is a very small example. I set up an intention that I would like this exercise session to make me fit and healthy. Similarly, when you are taking any action, when dealing with the rejection, also the new strategies, or whatever you journal down, you got to be present to what intentions are you expressing at that time, because intentions really maneuver your act. Okay, we got to be present to one thing, that rejections and success is just a part of our life. It is not our whole life. It is just a chota sa part of our life. And
that's what I said, right? It doesn't define us. So let's not get defined by such stuff.
Exactly. And when we do all of this, there, surely there will be lot of rejections, that one has gone through, and your rejections will not impact you the way it is impacting your life right now. That is there for sure. So I would like to, just do a small activity with this pen. So I'm sure you all must be having a pen around you. So now you've been using this pen from a long time. So I want you all to be present to something. What if this pen has all your past rejections, has the memory of all your past rejections and all the stories attached to that, opinions attached to that, the comparisons attached to that, interpretations attached to that, the past history attached, and you have been using this pen in your, in your actions every time you've been using this pen. Imagine, just be present to what recently, if you've had to face any rejection, just bring your, just connect with that and see, you were using this pen to take actions. How was it for you? Was it difficult? Was it painful? Emotionally or mentally, it was choking, or what was it? Just take a moment and reflect on that. And this is that pen you've been using, or where all your past history is there.
I just want to throw it away.
Exactly, the choice is there. So,
it's a burden that we're carrying, and we're adding to the burden again and again and again and again.
Exactly, Anita. And it's what, more than anything, carrying the burden itself is because if you throw it, I know it's practically, I mean, it's not just the way you drop it. It may not be that, but again, with practice, and you do build up a muscle. And as these tools, as these tools are function on a regular basis, your awareness surely goes up, and also that you will see your the effectiveness and the productivity. You will see how the the result is impacting your functioning in a lot of ways. So this is about it, and this is all I had for today's class. This is what I had created. If there are any questions, I would love to answer.
Yeah, I would request the members, if they have any questions, you can either use the chat box or unmute and speak.
Yeah, sorry, Anita, I have a question.
Yes, Varun, over to you.
So, Sarika, how would you support GWN in terms of like wedding planners? They will be having their clients. Have you given consultation for this bride and groom? Because in my experience, what I have seen, most of them are in very struggling state while marriage is coming. They are stressed out.
Yeah, definitely. Because every situation, there are 4 things happening, Varun. Even right now, while we are there in this work, in this session, there are those 4 things happening. So just got to, so surely, yes, there is lots happening in the situation, and everybody needs, a bit of guidance, support. It could be in the form of counseling, it could be in the form of a conversation, it could be in the form of a group counseling. So I can always support and extend that support to anyone and everyone who requires it. And yeah, that's and this is what this is one reason why I've chosen this this field, to empower people and to be to support them in a lot of ways, because emotional empowerment is there, and it's again not from a space that that some people are so mentally or emotionally empowered, rest are not. Everybody is emotionally empowered. We have to read everyone with that space. But it's just that sometimes they just lose their power. So all we have to tell them is, just get, we have to help them get their power back. It's just that.
So Varun, that answers our question that yes, in case we members need to refer our clients or our teams or anybody whom we know who needs the support, we have Sarika Arora with us. We have people like her helping us. And that's an amazing feeling that, yeah, there is somebody. That itself is an amazing feeling.
Anita, I just love the way you interacted with me. In fact, I think when you started interacting, it added a lot of energy to the session. Also, I was like, wow, ye kya ho raha, maza. It was like that.
It's just that, I just wanted, I think most of the talks that we have is something which goes out in the mind of most of the people out here. Okay. And yes, it does get stressful when we work day and night. And our, if I talk as an event planner, right, our designs are shared, our costumes are compared. And later, despite all the hard work, and it is the day you call up and say, okay, can you transfer the advance? That is when you realize that, oh no, it's a no. And then we don't know how to take it forward. And it's okay. I mean, it's not that, it's something which is a big deal for many of us. But then over a period of time, it could turn to be a big deal, because it is, I always believe that it is the small things which make a bigger impact. It could be on the happier end, or it could be on a demotivating end.
Absolutely. And see, Anita, here I'd like to add something. See, it's definitely, it is within us, but
we were talking about till now that, that we meet clients, there's a lot of presentation that they're doing, they're working towards it, but then there's again a no. How do they deal with the situation? It is again summarizing the entire conversation that we were having till now. So I think if you can just summarize the whole thing in a sentence or two, it helps us.
See, one thing I'll say, anticipation of no's, because people get into it, again, they slip into it very unconsciously. Somewhere there is anticipation of no in the background. It is in the subconscious, or it is there. And it is, again, that is also coming from some past experience, but it is the one that is, driving the ship. So you got to see. You got to bring that to an end, because if that goes on, maybe you may use, at a conscious level, you would be like, very sure that these are the measures I'm taking. This is exactly what I'm doing. But unconsciously, something is there that is stirring up something inside. So I think that needs to be pulled out. And what I understand is he's taking all measures, but still something is not allowing him to, to be out there and to reach out. So yeah.
At times, also, I would like to add your Sarika, because this is something which any and every business will go through this. Okay, it is, and it is left up to us whether how much of an importance this is. Despite being the best, if we are not there, if our proposal is not the one to get selected, I think it is okay. We've put in our best, right? It's the client's choice at the end of the day. So fine, that is what business is for, right? That this is a risk that we're taking. To listen to a no as an answer is the first attribute that a business entrepreneur should own and possess. So yes, if it is happening again and again, we may need to, if you have business coaches who can guide us, there are lots of people, apart, if it is affecting us psychologically, then we can reach out to counselors like Sarika. If it is a business problem that we are facing, then we have business coaches. We can reach out to them. We need somebody to help us in strategizing and making the difference. The minute you start thinking that you are the problem, then there is a problem.
Definitely. And again, this may sound very complicated, what I'm going to share. Take actions. I'm sure all those actions, take actions, but don't take actions from, being attached to the outcome. Give your 100% there, but don't be attached to the outcome, because again, something gets turned up, when the outcome is not as what you desire. So that is something.
Sushil, I'll just give you another example. Okay, see, each one of us deals with our no as an answer in different ways. It does put me down also at times. Okay, we're all human beings. We do feel the same emotion. Now, do I take rejection as something which will, make me feel very low and not make me feel confident for my next proposal? Because then, like how Sarika said, I'm already conditioning my mind to listen to a no as an answer. I'm already anticipating it. Or the other way is, will I take it as something like a bugle blowing into my ears and telling, hello, wake up, do something different this time. I've heard, I'm a Marwari, okay, and I've heard a no from a few South Indian clients because they feel I may not understand their customs and rituals. Okay. Similarly, I have my fellow event planners who are South Indians, for whom I go for the meetings and I close the Marwari deals for them and come back. Okay, because that's my forte, right? I speak Marwari, I know each and every ritual. So now, how do I overcome my shortcoming? I collaborate, and that is what GWN teaches us. That is what forums like this teaches us. Arun and I have collaborated so many times. There's so many other members in GWN with whom we're collaborating. So identify what is your pain point. See how you work on the pain point. I have started learning Tamil and Telugu now. Awesome. I know Kannada because I'm from Karnataka. Tamil and Telugu is something which I don't know. Now, how much of it am I ready to take? How many languages can I learn? All the 26 languages. There'll be a 27th language which I don't know, and that client will tell me a no then. So, there's never end to learning. How much are you ready to learn? How much are you ready to collaborate? Let's start doing that. It's beautiful.
We will definitely see, being in a community, we are here to everybody is co-creating with someone or the other, with our family members, with our friends, in our office, our workplace. So that co-creation is a part of it, is a part of the system. And so again, it's also about empowering the other person around you, and surely reaching out to help also to our community members if we are going through something. Yeah.
And remember that circle which Sarika made us draw?
Yes.
Okay. If that circle is becoming a boundary, right? Draw one more circle around it. So that circle also gets bound. That's it. I mean, that's the way you should go forward, I guess.
Yeah, now you can come out of that circle because we're almost at the end of the session.
Feel very rejected and dejected now. Start doing something which you love the most. If it's drawing, just take a pen and paper and draw. If it is singing, go sing in the bathroom or wherever you want to. Go play badminton or your favorite sport, whatever it is. Just see the difference.
Recreation is definitely very therapeutic. Definitely. Any kind of recreation.
And I got all these ideas by talking with Sarika for the past 1 week.
In fact, there has been so much even I learned from you in this session, and yeah, so as I said, co-creation is amazing. It's always an exchange of ideas and learning.
So I hope all of you had a good session today, and there were some takeaways for each one of us. And the whole idea was to just understand and break the ice, and just to realize that we all are sailing through the same storm. Now, whether we want to get scared by the storm or just set our yachts right and, make sure that we can walk through it and do very, very well and grow bigger and better, let's go ahead and do that. Thank you so much, Sarika, for the time. And thank you, everyone, for being such a wonderful audience. And yes, GWN, thanks so much that we always are open to having these kind of sessions that help us, just recreate our own thoughts, redirect our own thoughts. That's very important. Thank you so much, Sarika, for your time.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for having me here. And thank you to everyone in GWN and outside GWN who chose to be a part of the masterclass today. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure being here. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
And thank you.